And I just wanted to point a couple of these programs out. Again, this is spending the president is asking us to revoke. You be the judge, folks. It's your money. American people can decide whether we ought to spend their money on this or take it out as the president has requested. I'll just mention a couple of the programs. Congress appropriated $4 million for sedentary migrants in Colombia. The president wants us to take it out. Congress appropriated, and let me say, in many of these cases, we didn't appropriate the money for the specific things it was spent on. The bureaucrats did that. We might have sent the executive branch, let's say, $3 million for foreign aid, and the executive branch, the bureaucrats there decided, under President Biden, decided how the money would be spent. So I know Congress is not blameless, believe me, but we did not approve these specific items of expenditures. We approved the amounts and the general subject area like foreign aid. The bureaucrats did the rest. The bureaucrats decided to spend $3 million for circumcision, vasectomies, and condoms in Zambia. You decide whether that's a priority. $3 million for sexual reproductive health in Venezuela. $2.5 million for teaching young children how to make environmentally friendly reproductive health decisions. I didn't know there was any such thing as an environmentally unfriendly reproductive health decision. $167,000 the bureaucracy has spent or is proposing to spend on free education and health care to migrants in Ecuador and Venezuela. $67,000 to provide insect powder to children in Madagascar. Mr. President, have you ever had insect powder? Don't answer that. I don't think I'm even supposed to be asking you under the Senate rules, but I haven't had it. In the area of LGBTQIA and gender programs. And again, you be the judge, whether this is something we ought to be spending your money on when we've got $36 trillion of debt. LGBTQIA stands for lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, intersex, and asexual. The one I had to look up was intersex. Apparently, intersex is when someone identifies as both a man and a woman. The bureaucracy wants to spend $5.1 million to strengthen the, quote, resilience of lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, intersex, and queer global movements. The president has asked us to take it out. $833,000 for services for, quote, transgender people, sex workers and their clients, and sexual networks in Nepal. $643,000 for LGBTQIA programs in the Western Balkans. $567,000 for LGBTQI programs in Uganda. $33,000 for being LGBTI in the Caribbean. In the area of the climate, Mr. President, the bureaucrats want to spend, and President Trump wants us to take it out, $6 million appropriated for net zero cities in Mexico. $2.1 million for climate resilience in Southeast Asia, Latin America, and East Africa. $614,700 for climate adaptation, including growing coral reefs in the Caribbean. $500,000 to Rwanda to buy electric buses. Your money. $8,000 to promote vegan food in Zambia. In terms of electoral assistance, the bureaucracy has some ideas about how we ought to spend the money appropriated to the executive branch to help people in their elections. The bureaucracy wants to spend $1 million on voter ID programs in Haiti. If you know anything about Haiti, it's a mess. They're not about to have elections anytime soon. $889,000 for electoral reforms and voter education in Kenya. In the area of media, arts, and culture, the bureaucracy proposes to spend $6 million to support media organizations and civic life in Palestine, and $3 million for Iraqi Sesame Street. This is just a taste, Mr. President. This list is illustrative. It's not exhaustive. So when you see us debating whether we should reduce the federal budget by $9.3 billion, which the House has already decided to do, and now it's our turn, and I say which I have repeatedly said and will continue to say, is that all the president is asking us to do is cut the spending porn from the budget. You can make up your own mind. It's your money. If you think you ought to be spending the money on this, encourage us to vote no. But if you think you could spend this money of yours better than the bureaucracy could, or we could spend it on our kids or our roads or our health care, then encourage us to vote yes.